telescope.
Hello, everybody. Writing crew's request, the ceremony will be unplugged. The photographer and the videographer have been handpicked by the bride and groom and are standing ready to capture this experience without any effort from you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ceremony by being present in the moment, and enjoy the ceremony as it was meant to be enjoyed. Not having it.
I love you because you understand every single thing I try to do. You're always there to lend a helping hand. I love you most of all because of you. No matter what the world may say about me, I know your love will always see me through. I love you for the way you never doubt me, but most of all I love you 'cause you're you. I love you because my heart is lighter every time I'm walking by your side. I love you because the future's bright. The door of happiness you open wide. Most of all, I love you 'cause you're you. I think the universe is on my side. Heaven and earth have finally aligned. Days are good and that's the way it should. You sprinkle stardust on my pillowcase. It's like a moonbeam brushed across my face. Nights are good and that's the way it should be. Make me sing, oh, la la la. Make me sing, oh, I'm in love. See the colors in a different way. You make what doesn't matter fade to gray. Life is good and that's the way it should be. Make me sing, oh, la la la. Make me sing, oh, la la la. Make me sing, oh, la la la. 'Cause now I'm shining bright, so bright. I get lost in your eyes, shining bright, so bright, bright so bright. Understood before, I never knew what love was for. My heart was broke, my head was sore, what a feeling. Tied up in ancient history, I didn't believe in destiny. I look up, you're standing next to me, what a feeling. What a feeling in my soul. Love burns brighter than sunshine, brighter than sunshine. Let the rain fall, I don't care. I'm yours and suddenly you're mine. Suddenly you're mine. It's brighter than the sunshine. I never saw it happening. I'd given up and given in. I just couldn't take the hurt again, what a feeling. I didn't have the strength to fight, but suddenly it seemed so right. Me and you, what a feeling. Love will remain a mystery, but give me your hand and you will see. Your heart is keeping time. What a feeling in my soul. Love burns brighter than sunshine. It's brighter than sunshine. Let the rain fall, I don't care. I'm yours and suddenly you're mine. Suddenly you're mine.
Hello and welcome. Welcome family, friends, and loved ones. We gather here this evening to celebrate the wedding of Kristen and Aaron. You have come here to share in this formal commitment they make to one another, to offer your love and your support for this union, and to allow Kristen and Aaron to start their married life together, surrounded by people dearest and most important to them. On behalf of the bride and groom, I would like to thank you all for being here, for taking the time and making the journey, not only to be a part of this day, but to be part of their lives going forward. Aaron and Kristen, while this ceremony commemorates your union, it is up to you to create your marriage. Through love and patience, dedication and perseverance, talking and listening, helping, supporting, and believing in each other, and through tenderness and laughter. Through learning to forgive, learning to appreciate your differences, and by learning to lift up the important things and let go of all of the rest. This begins with us gathering to witness and celebrate the choice you are making today and every day hereafter to stand together as life mates and partners. It's hard for me to believe that it's been around 6 years since Aaron and Kristen's journey to this moment started. It's about time, Aaron. For those of you who don't know me, I was part of the lab that Kristen joined to earn her PhD in Lafayette, Indiana, and where Aaron worked as lab manager. As a result of this, I had the unique honor of knowing both Aaron and Kristen, both separately and as a couple. Standing here as you two are about to take this next step in your relationship, I can't help but reflect on how we got here. Because we all worked in the same lab, the three of us spent a lot of time together, both at work, where we'd spent countless hours trying to understand and cure the disease of alcoholism, and outside of the lab, where we spent even more time studying alcohol's effect on ourselves. It was during these many hours that I watched their relationship form, flourish, and fortify into what we are celebrating here today. For those of you who know Aaron well, I don't think I'm out of bounds to say that it was unusual for him to actively pursue anything other than a good video game deal or a funny podcast, yet alone a strong and outgoing woman like Kristen. Yet, as time passed, Aaron became inexplicably interested in group exercise classes for some reason and yoga, by the way, at the Purdue Rec Center, which, coincidentally, Kristen had just started attending. Then, Aaron became noticeably more helpful when Kristen was around in lab, saying things like, "Sure, I would love to help run your blood samples." And from then on, it was on. As the chronic skeptic that I am, I watched their journey begin with mixed emotions. But to look at their relationship and them standing here today, I can say without a sliver of a doubt that these two are built to last. They have successfully intertwined their lives together, closing the chapter at Purdue and moving across the country in what should have been Kristen's infamous CRV, but instead was Aaron's Honda Accord pulling a trailer that it was not built to pull. The fact that they even made it to California may be proof enough that they can handle marriage. Anyways, they offer each other endless support and encouragement, provide balance for one another, and celebrate their differences with copious amounts of love and respect. Seeing them in action reinforces to me that no matter who we are, where we've come from, or what we believe, we know that this one thing, that love is what we're doing right. Love is the great unifier and a universal truth, the reason you are both standing here and why your friends and family are here as well. In this moment, where we were reminded that the ability to love is the very best of humanity. I'm here, we're all here, to hope with you, to support you, to be proud of you, and to remind you that love isn't happily ever after. Love is the experience of writing your story. It's not one moment, it's not even this moment. It's every moment. Big moments like saying, "I love you," or "Sure, I'll attend Pilates." And moments like moving in together, getting engaged. But mostly, it's a million little moments that come in between these big moments. Falling asleep next to one another, making dinner together, spending holidays with your families, binge watching Netflix shows, getting a big hug when you get home from work. These everyday moments fuse together into one monumental experience. And even though this experience is so incredible, words fail us when we try to explain it. That's just the way it is with love. It's meant to be felt, not described. So please, take a few moments and look into each other's eyes. And then, turn out and look at all of the people that have come here to support you. Feel that love. It is that love that makes all things worth it. And I am so proud and honored to stand up here with you two, and I look forward to watching you write the next chapter of your journey. Now, to symbolize the importance of family and marriage, Kristen and Aaron have asked for each other's parents to give a brief blessing. We'll start with the bride's parents, Susan and Craig.
The gift of love. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal, and I have prophetic powers, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge. And if I have all faith, so as to remove mountains, but not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and I deliver my body to be burned, but not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things.
Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. For as for knowledge, it will pass away. For our knowledge is imperfect, and our prophecy is imperfect. But when the perfect comes, the imperfect will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. And when I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall understand fully, even as I have been fully understood. So faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of these is love. So now, Kristen, meaning follower of Christ, and bright, meaning wide. Sorry about that. And Aaron, meaning lofty and exalted. Kirchhoff, German translation, churchyard. We, your parents, wish for you everything your names imply. For now and the rest of your married lives, may God continue to bless you as he has blessed us with you.
We can only wish the best for both of you. Aaron was the first time that you brought someone home to meet us, and we've been so proud ever since. We've longed for this day, and it's finally here. May God look over both of you and bless your marriage as it should.
Kristen, we love you as one of our own. We have from the moment we met you. We just knew it was destined to be. We are so thankful to God that you are part of our family. We will love you as our own daughter. And Aaron will love you as our own son. Be blessed and just enjoy the years to come until maybe the next chapter when you bring some other news to us, whenever that may come. And just enjoy each other. That's all we can say. We love you very much.
Thank you all for your meaningful words. Two people in love do not live in isolation. Their love is a source of strength with which they may support not only each other, but also the world around them. And in turn, we, their community of friends and family, have a responsibility to this couple. By our steadfast care, respect, and love, we can support their marriage and the new family that they are creating here today. Now for a little audience participation. I'm going to ask a question and you'll all respond with, "We will." Now, will all of you surround Kristen and Aaron in love, offering them with the joys of your friendship and supporting them in their marriage?
We will.
Good work, everybody. That's all. We've come to the point in the ceremony where you're going to say your vows to one another and declare your commitment to continue deepening and strengthening the incredible bond that already exists between you. If you keep the vows you take here today, not because of any religious or civic law, but out of a desire to love and be loved by another person fully, without limitation, then your life will have joy. And the home you establish will be a place in which both of you will find the direction and the growth, your freedom, and your responsibility. Look into each other's eyes again and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another: co-worker, friend, fiance. But now you will say a few words that will take you across one of the great thresholds of life, and things will never quite be the same between you. For after these vows, you shall say to the world, "This is my husband, and this is my wife." Nothing is easier than standing here and saying these words, and nothing is more difficult than living them day to day. When you love someone, you do not love them all the time in exactly the same way. That's impossible. Yet, that is what most of us expect. We forget the ebb and flow of life, and of love, and of relationships. We insist on permanence, on duration, and on continuity. But in love, as in life, the only certainty lies in change and in growth. Therefore, what you promise today must be renewed and reaffirmed tomorrow and all of the tomorrows to come. At this time, Aaron and Kristen will recite the vows that they have prepared for one another.
Aaron, when I packed up all of my most treasured belongings and left the familiar, sunny, heavily populated state of California and traveled across the country with my mom to move to Indiana, I never thought that I would one day return with my future husband, but I'm so glad that I did. I first knew that I loved you when I could spend time with you doing absolutely nothing. As you've learned, that is really difficult for me to do. I knew I wanted to marry you when you moved back to California with me in the aforementioned Honda Accord, with a trailer packed to the absolute brim, unable to use the AC, and we didn't abandon each other at a gas station along the way. You are my favorite person. You are the most thoughtful and loving man I have ever known. Even when I accuse you of not listening to me, you continually show me that you are always listening. You show this through everyday actions, proving that you hear what I say and that you know me better than anyone else. You do little things like picking up my favorite wines and cheeses at the store, and you make great, meaningful gestures like proposing to me on a pressed penny. You cook elaborate dinners for me when I am working late, and you will even double-check my work when I'm feeling unsure about myself, and you'll correct me in the nicest way possible. You know how to love me at my best and at my worst. And I vow to spend every minute of every day as your wife trying to show you how much I appreciate you, respect you, support you, and love you. I promise to always love you without hesitation, without reservation, and in full transparency. I promise to have your best interests at the forefront of my decisions and actions. I promise to make you coffee every single morning before I leave for work, and to kiss you as soon as I get home. I promise to ask you how you are doing daily, and to listen to your response with my full undivided attention. How are you now? How are you doing? Good. I haven't asked you yet today. I promise to push you to be the very best version of yourself, even when you do not want me to push. I promise to walk beside you, stand behind you, and lift you up in every step we take together. And I promise to create a life for us that continually reminds us of the feelings we are feeling right now in this very moment. These are my vows, which I promise to fulfill for the rest of our lives together as husband and wife. I love you.
Kristen, I remember when I first got to know you. We were stuck working that horrible liquid diet study together at Purdue, mixing awful smelling nutrient slurry with alcohol at 5:30 in the morning. Usually slightly hungover from schooner night at Chumley's the night before. Yet you were always upbeat and positive, easy to talk to, fun to be around. You brightened an otherwise unenjoyable situation. A few weeks later, when the study ended and we had to carry everything back to the lab, when you headed back to your own office, marking the end of our very early, very smelly mornings together, it was then that I realized I would miss you. Miss being around you. Nearly 6 years later, you are my best friend, and I can't imagine going through life without you. I promise to laugh with you, to cry with you, and to grow with you. I will love you when we are together and when we are apart. I promise to support your goals and dreams and to move across the country with you as many times as it takes to fulfill those. I promise to be more patient and less cranky, as much as possible anyway. And to always be honest with you, even when you might wish that I'd hold back a couple of details. You know me better than anyone else in the world, and somehow you're still here, ready and willing to help me shake up another batch of smelly diet if I ask you. I love you, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
Please take each other's hands. These are the hands of your best friend that you are holding on your wedding day. These are the hands that will work alongside yours as you build your future. These are the hands that, when wrinkled and aged, will still be reaching for yours. Kristen, please take this ring. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Kristen, please place this ring on Aaron's finger. Do you promise to do your very best each and every day to create a loving, healthy, and happy marriage? Aaron, please take that sweaty ring. Please place this ring on Kristen's finger. Do you promise to do your very best each and every day to create a loving, healthy, and happy marriage? Wonderful. In a few moments, I will announce you as husband and wife. However, only you can declare yourselves married. You have begun it here today in speaking your vows before your family and friends, and you'll do it again in the days and years to come, standing by each other, sharing the highs and lows of life. You are about to embark on the next phase of your adventure together, and you've chosen the perfect launching pad. Like this space around us, I hope your future is full of many years of exploration, wonder, and boundless creativity as you delight in each other and grow closer than ever imagined. May you always embrace your curious and playful spirits as you grow together, surrounded by the love and support of your friends and family. I know you will leave your mark on this world, both individually and as a couple, and I hope your endeavors are always fulfilling. As you meet life's challenges together with courage and optimism, I hope the home you will create provides a refuge for you to connect and recharge. May it be filled with laughter, comfort, and love, and may it shelter the countless memories that you are sure to create as you fill your bright and vibrant lives with moments that take your breath away again and again. So now, by the power of your love and commitment, and the power vested in me by the American Marriage Ministries, I am honored and delighted to pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss each other. The bride and groom will join us downstairs for cocktail hour once they have exited and are finished taking more and more photos. But first, allow me to introduce for the first time ever, Mr. and Mrs. Aaron and Christian Kirchhoff.
It's never quite as it seems, never quite as it seems. I know I felt like this before, but now I'm feeling even more, because it came from you. And then I open up and see the person falling here is me. A different way to be. Impossible to ignore, impossible to ignore. They'll come true, impossible not to do. impossible not to do. Now I'll tell you openly, you have my heart, so don't hurt me. No, I couldn't find. Talk to me, amazing mind, so understanding and so kind. You're everything to me. Oh, my life is changing every day, every possible way. Though my dream is never quite as it seems, 'cause you're a dream to me, a dream to me. Tell me that you want me, and I'll be yours completely. Then I won't words. We'll have our disagreements, but fighting for no reason, changing for the world. 'Cause the first day that I met you, it's never gonna let you slip away. I still remember feeling nervous, trying to find the words to get you here today. You make my heart feel like it's summer when the rain is pouring down. You make my whole world feel so right when it's wrong. So I know you are the one. That's why I know you are the one. Yeah, it's easy to be scared. With you I am prepared for what is yet to come. Two hearts, they will make it easy, joining up pieces together make one. You make my heart feel like it's summer when the rain is pouring down. You make my whole world feel so when it's wrong. That's how I know you are the one. That's why I know you are the one. When we are together, you make me feel like a mind is sweet, and the dreams are reachable. You know I'll never ever believe in love, but believe one day that you will come along. Oh, you make my heart feel like it's summer when the rain is pouring down. You make my whole world feel so right when it's wrong. That's how I know you are the one. That's why I know you are the one. That's why I know you are the one. That's how I know you are the one.
Kristen, all right. All right, congratulations, guys. And now, Kristen, don't go anywhere. If I can please have your dad, Craig, come up, please.
Aww.
drop to my knees by the bed at night. She talks to Jesus, and I close my eyes. Thank God for all of the joy in my life. Most of all, butterfly kisses, bedtime prayer, sticking little white flowers all up in her head. Walk beside home, Dad, it's my first ride. I know the cake looks fun, Dad, but I should try. All that I've done wrong must have done something right. Deserve her hug every morning and butterfly kisses at night. Sweet 16 today, she's looking like a mama, little more every day. One pie woman, the other pie girl, to perfume and makeup, ribbons and curls, trying her wings at the great big world. But I remember butterfly kisses, bedtime prayer, sticking little white flowers all up in her head. You know how much I love you, Dad, but if you don't mind, I'm only gonna kiss you on the cheek this time. All that I've done wrong must have done something right to deserve love every morning, butterfly kisses at night. She'll change her name today. She'll make a promise and I'll give her away. Standing in the bright, just staring at her. She asked me what I'm thinking. I said I'm not sure. I just feel like I'm losing my baby girl. She leaned over and gave me butterfly kisses with mama there, sticking little white flowers all up in her hair. Walk me down the aisle, Dad, it's just about time. Does my wedding gown look pretty, Daddy? Daddy, don't cry. All I've done wrong, I must have done something right to deserve her love every morning and butterfly kisses. Couldn't ask God for more. This is what love is. I know gotta let it go, but always remember there's a hug in the morning and butterfly kisses.
Kristen, and pray everyone.
Oh, when the time has gone since those little boring days I've seen long, yet here you are. It's your wedding day. There's one thing, darling, I desire to say. Be kind, be sweet, be a gentleman, care and share, always be fair, and remember that though you're not taken a while, you'll always be my son, my loving son. gentleman. Care and share and always be fair. And remember that though you have taken a while, you will always be my son, my loving son.
Surprise! This is from your beloved husband.
You can't start crying yet. I'm already crying. Starting yet. I see you. I'm already like, oh.
You can get in the high chair.
You sit in it.
Ah, yeah.
Kristen.
Good evening.
Greg is ready.
I always wanted to be the voice of God. Or really what I always wanted to sound like is Morgan Freeman. I think might be God.
We love you, Craig.
Thank you, Brian. I'll speak with you later. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And the first thing I want to do is give thanks to a lot of people, and all of you, of course. Thanks to God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit for putting me here, because not every man gets the pleasure of giving his daughter away. Not every man gets to walk his daughter down the aisle, and I did this evening. It was a dark aisle. Not every man gets a son-in-law like Aaron, but more about him later. And I really am thankful to God that I'm here, because I could be like so many other fathers, and you know, everybody in here knows a father that would have liked to give away her daughter and did not get the opportunity. And I'm so blessed to get to give you away today. I'm so blessed to have you and family. We practiced this yesterday. In public speaking, we teach the 3 B's of delivery. Be prepared, be brief, and be seated. And I always wanted to be Morgan Freeman. Here in less than 10 minutes is the father of the bride's speech. I have never done one of these before, so I'm trying my best. For those of you in this generation, you may think of the Steve Martin 1990s movie, which I have grown more closely to resemble with each passing day. For those of us before my generation, you could go back to 1950, and Spencer Tracy also had a movie called Father of the Bride. There's a lot of information out there on how to deliver a wedding speech, a Father of the Bride speech. This speech then has 3 parts: the teases, the tribute, and the toast. Are you ready? Yes. Thing definitely over here. Things not to do during the wedding speech. Don't talk for too long. Okay, I'm not, I promise, 9 more minutes. Do not talk about yourself. Okay, after all, this is Kristen and Aaron's day. Do not embarrass your daughter. I trust she could probably say a lot more things to embarrass me. So I don't go down that road. Do not raise the dead in detail. Although many people who have passed away would dearly love to be here today, there still were others for whom this trip was too long and could not be here. As Kristen might say, I heard her say this during the father-daughter dance, Dad, they're still watching. I love that about her.
I agree.
Another thing not to do, do not posture or assert yourself. Hey, I am the most humble guy you know. I take care of 3 generations of women. Yes, you can. And the first toast, that's why I have my little stand here with my little glass of champagne for the first toast. And later on, you know, after, I might need to sit in the chair. The first toast is to the MOB. You'll be surprised. That stands for most obviously beautiful. Mother of the bride. There are more coming. Susan Wright, because of her, this night would not be possible, because without her, the bride would not be possible. Now the things to do during the wedding speech. Do plan your speech ahead of time. Okay, I've been working on this since January. Page 2. Can you tell I've been working on this since January? make sure everyone is welcomed. And this is where the old African proverb comes in. You've heard it said, quoted by many politicians, but it's really an old African proverb. It goes like this: it takes a village. You've heard that? It takes a village to raise a child. And between the two of you, Aaron and Kristen, there are more than 150 members of that village present today. Give yourself a hand. So Kristen and Aaron, look around and behold your village. It sounded more dramatic when I wrote it. But literally from the East Coast to the West Coast, people have taken their time and their resources to share in your joy today. And we are thankful for all of you who spent, whether you spent 20 minutes driving here. That's impossible to drive anywhere in San Diego for 20 minutes, but 20 minutes driving here, or 2 days getting here, or several hours by plane. My dear Deutscher relatives, we thank you all for coming in. We're honored for you to be here. We're glad that we're here. You honor us with your presence besides presence. That's a play on words. Presence besides presence. You. That's why I like this guy. Do introduce yourself. Hello, I'm Craig Wright, father of the bride, and I'm glad you're here to share in our joy today, in case I didn't mention my name. Do celebrate your daughter's life, and I do, every day of her life. And now that her life officially begins with Aaron, I celebrate his achievements as a son that I never had. And what if I could tell our story like Morgan Freeman? It might sound something like this.
It was a dark, stormy night when Kristen Ryan Bright came into this world. Her father was the first to hold her. She was delivered by a female, attended to by a female, and of course carried by a female. Her father was the only guy in the room because, as her mother so gently put it, he was there at conception. He should be there for her delivery. The doctor had to slap her to get her to cry, which she did for the next 2 years. She had little wisps of blonde hair. As he held her, he told her that he and her mother had her room already, and he even had a flower picked out to plant in front of her bedroom window, a rose bush called All-American Beauty. Well, the rose bush died, but thankfully Kristen thrived, and after those first 2 years, even started to sleep. She went on to become a dancer, a student, a college student, a Disney employee, and a PhD in behavioral neuroscience from Purdue. I suppose most of you know her by what she is today, an accomplished researcher at San Diego State University, and a professor there along with UCSD. She came to San Diego to research marijuana and pregnant women because she heard they were both here in town. Peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control are some of her biblical qualities, and she possesses them, but also a lot more. Kristen never has been a problem to her parents. In fact, the only time her father can remember reprimanding her was when she used inappropriate language once in middle school. She then interrupted him and proceeded to quote the First Amendment's 5 freedoms and her right as an American citizen to use them. He knew he had a different sort of girl back then. She went to Purdue. She dug herself out of the snow and got an education. Then along came Aaron. Her father at first didn't know what to make of him. He was quiet, he was respectful, he was educated, he was intelligent, he was loyal, brave, trustworthy, and prepared. Everything Kristen's father was. The father, recognizing Kristen's good taste, fell in love with the groom too way back then. And here they are today, bringing in the state of California and 150 of their closest friends to tie the knot. but her father will always remember the quiet little girl with the wisps of blonde hair that he held on that dark and stormy night. Now, what can we wish for them always? It seems to me all of those biblical things, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Because, after all, that's what makes a happy forever after.
I should quit there while I'm ahead. But the rest of the to-do list, do talk honestly about your feelings. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I feel a lot of things today. We don't have time for all of them. Besides, it would violate the don't rule number 2. Do tell your daughter that you love her. Kristen, I love you.
Me too.
And I love that I can spell Kirchhoff now. Do say nice things about the groom. This part is really easy because I literally have not heard anything from anyone that is bad about Aaron. Welcome aboard and thank you for taking Kristen off of our hands. Do propose a beautiful toast. Okay, that's coming. Right now I would like to also propose a toast tonight to a couple who really deserve it. They have been with us every step of the way and have contributed more than any groom's parents I know. And Aaron Michael Kirchhoff is a testament to his parents. I mean, what else could a father or father-in-law want? An Eagle Scout, a Purdue graduate, a guy with a good job who is sensitive and loving and all those biblical things. Aaron has them all, and if that wasn't enough, Aaron asked me for Kristen's hand in marriage. I told him at that time he did something that I always wanted to do 35 years ago, but did not, therefore making Aaron a better man than I. In no small way, this is because of his parents, and his stellar upbringing. So, to the most, raise a glass please, to the most supportive groom's parents you will ever meet, raise a glass with me please. Here's to Carol and Dave Kirchhoff. Did you hear about the 2 spiders who got engaged? I heard they met on the web. Did you hear about the 2 cell phones that got married? Their reception was terrific. And then the 2 florists who got recently engaged and married, it was an arranged marriage. Florists. I just saw 2 nuclear scientists get married. The bride was radiant and the groom was glowing. These are drawers, I know. Only one more. Did you hear about Miss Notebook who married Mr. Pencil? She finally found Mr. Right.
That's a good one.
Now here comes the tribute. Okay, we're almost done. By the way, Fran and Orv, where are you? You should be declared a national treasure. And I am so humbled and grateful to be a part of the Kirchhoff family now. I guess you're the official part of the Kirchhoff family, but I'm the in-law. And it's nice to have grandparents in-law. I think everybody wants to take Fran and Orv home. And you can't, they're mine. Here's the serious part. I've always thought that the finest tribute any parent could make to their child is that the child has grown to be the kind of person that the parent wants to be around, indeed seeks out. I know that's the case for Susan and I. I know it's the case for Dave and Carol too. And I know that it's more than just the acts of the parents responsible. I think Mr. and Mrs. Kirchhoff would agree it is an act of God. So now would you pray with me? Dear God, thank you for giving us today Kristen Ryan Bright, Aaron Michael Kirkhoff, together, our 2 children, now husband and wife, that the 4 of us parents will look forward to seeing, and the rest of us as much as we can whenever we can. Guard them and keep them safe now and in the future. In His name we pray, amen.
Amen.
And finally, I found this, the toast. This is it. This is really it. It's been 10 minutes, right? And then I know a lot of other people want to say something, and I'm going to get out of the way, and you're not going to see me up here again all evening. This is from a novel, Louis de Bernier, and the novel is called, about 20-something years ago, 1994, called Corelli's Mandolin. And I really like it. I hope you do. It goes something like this, quote, "This is not me, I did not write this, I'm stealing." Love, but it seems to fit for all marriages. Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like an earthquake and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots have become so entwined together that it is inconceivable that you should ever part. Because this is what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It is not excitement. It is not the promulgation of promises of eternal passion. That's just being in love, which any of us can convince ourselves we are. Love itself is what's left over when being in love has gone away. And this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Your mother and I had it. We had roots that grew toward each other underground. And when the decades passed, we found that we were one tree and not 2. I wish that for you. Always. It is also an act of God, as I quoted in the ceremony. Knowledge passes away. Think about how many things you knew that you knew last year that have changed this year, and that will change again next year. Love is what remains, and you too, as Father, Dr., Reverend, Father, I know, Dr. Matt Powers, the Reverend Dr. Matt Powers. So, last one. Everyone now please raise a glass to Kristen and Aaron. May your love never pass away. May you two continue to grow, continue to love together, and always. And may everything you want be the least that you receive. Cheers.
Good evening, everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Courtney. I first met Kristen at Purdue. We were both in a PhD program together. And we quickly became friends once we both realized we were stuck in Indiana and both from California. And from there, we developed a series of interests that overlapped. One of those was a really deep, unhealthy obsession with wine. And we also shared an office, and we lived together too as well. And the time that we lived together, we also shared the office. So we saw a lot of each other. And as such, I saw a lot of Aaron, unfortunately. So I met Aaron through Kristen at the program. And at Purdue, our disciplines stayed relatively separate from one another. And I was in a cognitive area, and they were in the neuro area. But Kristen took pity on me and took me under her wing and introduced me to the other neuro people. And I started hanging out with them after attending one of their infamous trivia nights. Yeah. So I think I was selected to speak on behalf of Kristen and Aaron as a couple together because we lived together, so we spent a lot of time together, as I said. And luckily, I've been present for a lot of their firsts. Whether that is a blessing or a curse, I'm not sure, but I digress. So I'd like to talk about a few instances of when I knew that Aaron and Kristen were serious about each other. So if you know Aaron, contrary to the stoic sort of demeanor he gives off, he was actually really transparent, and I knew first when he loved Kristen, or had feelings for Kristen. So Matt, the officiant, kind of alluded to her earlier, but I remember Kristen used to go to the gym, and she and I would meet up regularly to eat lunch or hang out or something. She mentioned she was taking a Zumba class, and said, okay, that sounds interesting. And then she said, oh yeah, and Aaron did this thing, and I said, what? And I said, Aaron was there? She's like, yeah, Aaron was there. She said it like so emphatically, like, yes. And I remember just thinking, I don't really think that that's Aaron's thing. She's like, no, he's really into fitness. And I was like, no, I think he's really into you. And yeah, and so it just continued. So I knew really quickly that Aaron was on that pathway. Kristen was a little bit more cagey with hers. So I did have an instance where I knew that Kristen, loved Aaron. And this came in, if you've heard, it might be on the bios for the wedding website, the infamous snow trip, if you've ever heard of this. So Aaron decided to do something special for Kristen and decided to take her on a camping trip. We live in Indiana, by the way. It was winter. It was cold. It was snowy. Did I mention it was cold? It's snowy. And so they show up to the campsite, and the guard that lets them in is asking them if they're part of the military training that is going on because no one else was there, and they were crazy enough to go through with this. And so when Kristen told me they were going on this trip, I was swaddled in a blanket in our apartment, looking at her crazy, and she was just ready to go and willing to do it. And I was like, you do you. And I remember Kristen came back from the trip and she recounted how, they drank copious amounts of whiskey to get through the cold. And they got into the car and drove around and turned on the heat for a little bit, intermixed with actually getting out and, I guess, enjoying the nature how much they could. But she came back and I just remember the excitement she had, and she was just so happy to be with Aaron, and that's all that mattered to her. And so that's how I knew that things were real for Kristen. So for them together as a couple, I want to talk about the last thing I want to talk about is interacting with them as a couple. One of the things that I appreciate about them is that for better or worse, they truly embody teamwork. So I had ordered a large dresser to be delivered to my apartment, but I was told that the dresser was too big to be delivered and I need to go pick it up myself. There were two problems. I don't own a car. And I don't own a car. So I asked Kristen, who had a crossover SUV, if she would help me to pick it up, and then also if her and Aaron would come over and help me build it because I didn't have tools and Aaron does. So I invited them over under the guise of giving them booze and pizza. And I made a fatal mistake in that I gave them the booze first. I kid you not, my dresser never worked properly. None of the drawers worked, ever. But, damn it, they didn't work together as a team on it. It was good. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that watching the progression of Kristen and Aaron together during the course of the relationship, with Kristen and I having lived together, again, we spent a lot of time together. I have no doubts that they will experience many, many years of happiness and joy. Hopefully, because in San Diego, this will be above freezing temperatures. So, Kristen and Aaron, I wish you guys infinite years of happiness and cherish this. Courtney knows that you will have a lifetime of love and joy to look forward to. So, if you guys would raise your hand, your glasses, and joining me in toasting to Aaron and Kristen.
Hi everyone, I'm Betsy. I'm Kristen's matron of honor. And like Craig said, thank you all for traveling. I know several of you had to travel quite a distance from Indiana or Kansas or various parts of California. And I know it's not easy, but thank you so much. I know that you guys really appreciate it, so thank you. So, Kristen and I have been inseparable since we were 7 years old. We met at Center Stage Dance Academy. And if I recall, I requested that Kristen go across the floor with me. At the time, I can only imagine that I was very nervous. I thought Kristen was so cool. And now that I look back on it, I'm not sure if Kristen was ultimately, everyone had decided she was very cool, or if Kristen was just very confident. Even at 7 years old, you know that you have met a true gem when someone is so unabashedly themselves. Hanging out with Kristen truly brought me out of my shell. She encouraged me to embrace the weird. And my parents, to this day, my parents even say that we're weird when we're together. When I first brought my boyfriend, now husband, home, my mom asked, "Have you met Kristen yet?" But the two of them are weird together. And I think without fail, we brought this to light. So Kristen quickly became my partner in crime. She and Gentry became the sisters that my parents would never give me. Probably because of the confident weirdness. And Susan and Craig became an extra set of parents. Every Friday, we slept over at my house where we ran around the neighborhood pretending to be spies, keeping our digipets alive, and engaging in ballet boarding, which for those of you who were not around during that time, it involves a razor scooter, which you scoot so fast up to speed that you can coast, you penché back, non-ballet friends, that's a leg in the back into a split. One, absolutely graceful and beautiful. Two, not dangerous at all. Every Saturday night we slept over at Kristen's house, and every Sunday morning Craig would take us to church. I went to Catholic school, Kristen went to Lutheran school. I regularly embarrassed Craig at church with my Catholic ways. Most of them involved me trying to actually take the cup of wine as a second grader from whoever was delivering it who did not want to give it to me. Because in Lutheran, the customs are slightly different. Craig would regularly apologize, telling everyone, no, don't worry, she's just Catholic. Everyone seemed to understand, so I'm thankful for the Bethany people that are still here today who understood I'm just Catholic. During the summer, we had a strict beach routine. Susan took us to the beach twice a week, and we would boogie board competitively. We would compete for every wave and talk about it as if we were really surfing and we were surfing somewhere big. We were in Seal Beach. For those of you who don't know, there's a breakwater. You cannot drown. When we weren't at the beach, we were in Kristen's backyard inventing plays that went along with the music to the jukebox, or inventing silly songs. One of our silly songs was regarding Halloween, and we swore up and down that NSYNC later stole our concept. For Happy Holidays, it sounded awfully the same as Happy Halloween.
Still hold to that.
We still believe that somehow NSYNC found out about this. We have been unsuccessful in our litigation pursuit. I would like to tell you that these shenanigans were just in elementary school, but they've continued. We managed to convince our parents to let us go to public school together, where we went to Wilson High School. And Celine, who's in the back, introduced us to high school parties. We left our days of TGI Fridays and one Saturday mornings behind us, but we could inflict our weirdness on other people. And much to our parents' surprise, we accumulated more friends. We did manage to also convince one of the teachers at Wilson High School, Mr. Vandruff, to allow Kristen to come to the art history Europe trip with us, even though Kristen never took art history and never planned to take it. And because, Kristen didn't know art history, obviously we had to room together in every country we went to. We could not be separated. This involved Kristen and I jumping off a cliff into the Mediterranean Sea, which we told our parents about when we were in our 20s. And us drunkenly trying to leave our hotel in London and humming the Mission Impossible songs. Because even at 17, we would pretend to be spies. When it came time to go to college, we separated geographically. Kristen went to Chapman, and I went to UC Davis. However, we still talked regularly on the phone about parties, sororities, and boys. And when we came back for holidays, it was like no time had passed at all. When I came back to Southern California for law school, Kristen was getting her master's at San Diego State, and we were closer geographically, but busier than ever. Then Kristen decided to move the farthest away, to Indiana. I'd like to say that she gave me a lot of flack for moving up to Northern California for undergrad, and then she goes and moves to Indiana when I come back. So you can imagine my surprise. As usual, when we met up, it was like no time had passed at all. Then she met Erin, and I remember we were at a holiday party, or perhaps a birthday party, because her birthday is in December, and she was shyly telling me about how she was dating someone. It was very hush-hush and in the back room, and she was saying, oh, it's not serious, but I could tell. That what she really meant was, it's not serious yet, or it's very serious, and I'm trying to be very cool about this. And then it came time for her to graduate and receive her PhD. And Erin, I know that convincing you for year-round flip-flop weather was a tough sell. But I am so glad that you agreed. Because now Kristen is closer. We once convinced Erin to do a fun run with us. It was a black light run in San Diego. Erin wanted to run. I thought we were going to fast walk. However, wanting to be the cool friend, I agreed to run. At the end of this run, there is a dance. So Kristen and I, and Erin, are sweaty and covered in glow-in-the-dark powder. And it was me and Kristen's time to shine. We danced in a circle around Erin while I'm sure he pretended not to know us. This was maybe 3 years ago, so the weirdness is still continued. But in all truth, when I met Erin, he was very quiet, but I could tell that he was the solid rock that Kristen needed in this chaotic life that she's created for herself. Kristen and Erin, you are the yin and yang, and it's perfect. Erin is the calm, and Kristen is the storm. Together, you're a well-calculated tornado taking over the science world. We wish you the best, and I cannot wait to see how much more you two accomplish together. Cheers to Kristen and Erin.
All right, cheers. Hey, everybody. I'm Andy, I'm Erin's brother. And while I'm writing the speech, there were some things that I had in mind for us, which should be pretty obvious. I wanted to be informative, also a little nostalgic, and at least somewhat entertaining. So while looking for inspiration, I happened upon a poem written by somebody that you may have heard of. It's definitely possible. His name is actually Mr. Willard Carroll Smith. So without further ado, I had actually rewritten this poem specifically for the occasion. Now, this is the story all about how my brother's life got him to be where he is right now. So I'd like to take a moment, just sit right there, and I'll tell you all how he became the groom of this wedding here. In West Crown Point, not born but raised, playing Nintendo is how he spent most of his days. Chilling out, snacking, going to school, and watching some Price is Right on the tube. He made a couple of friends, which was all well and good, and started having Nerf gun fights in the neighborhood. Had a fair few, but our parents didn't care. After all, Nerf is soft, and it's only powered by air. Fast forward a bit, he graduated from West Lafayette, but while he was there, he met Kristen Bright, our absolutely amazing, beautiful bride here. And if anything, I could say this relationship is rare. The way they act around each other, the way they talk to each other, even the way they look at each other, it's completely apparent that real, true love is there. So, they moved out to San Diego around summer kind of late, and they said to snow in Indiana, so long, see you later. But I mean, to be honest, blame them, it's a flyover state. But I digress. King and queen of this wedding, we are so glad that you're married. Good luck to you, Kristen. We've had enough of him. You take Erin from here. But I'm just I'm thrilled to have you as my new sister, and to many blissful years to come. Cheers.
So I literally want to shit myself. I'm not a public speaker. I never knew I was going to be scared of attention my whole life until right now. Seriously, I can't even.
You got it, girl.
You all know I'm terrified of attention, so I hate people looking at me. All right, so it's my turn now, and I just wanted to go ahead and get one thing out of the way. Thank you guys so much for coming out to see me tonight. Honestly, out of the way. I mean, lying just to see me in this dress. Thanks, all right, so let's hear a round of applause for you all. All right, so let's get this party started, huh? There are a lot of rules, and I'm not going to follow a single goddamn one of them. Sorry, Dad, there is an exit door somewhere around here if you want to just bolt. You can just... All right. Everyone that knows me in the slightest bit, my whole life has been slightly dreading the day that I talk without a filter in front of everyone. And I'm here to tell you guys, you were right. So, I swear this is going somewhere too, guys. I'm just warming up. All right, well, so my sister and I have always been a little bit different. Subtle differences, really. She was always getting a 4.0 at the end of every semester. I was always leaving more confused. She was always giving her teachers smiles. I was always giving them challenges. She always had her eyes on the prize, this one. And I always had my eyes on something else. Alright, so, ooh, this is harder than I thought. Jesus. I thought I would have one thing on her, though. I did think I would get married first. You win, Kristen. I mean, as if I don't look bad enough, she puts me in front of a freaking lawyer. She puts me after a freaking lawyer, I'm sorry. Jesus. A pregnant lawyer, everything my mom wants me to be. I've just accepted the black sheep role, and I'm just here I am, guys. Hate me or love me, you know what I mean? Thanks, girl, for doing that. So I do want to thank her for something, though, and this is where you're gonna be really lucky if I don't cry. I do want to thank her for something, though. Well, a lot of things, actually. So here it goes. Kristen, thank you for being my #1 competitor and fan. Thank you for being my inspiration, my motivation, the woman I want my kids to look up to. I'm not having any, but I'm just saying. My light when it got too dark to see. The person I can text at 3 a.m. when something just doesn't feel right. Honestly, I do it all the time. The one who invited me into her bedroom every single Christmas Eve just to wait for Santa Claus. Awkward page turn. The one who convinced me that Christmas elves were putting spare change in my stocking every year. It was her wanting to get rid of her like coins. She was. The one who convinced me that Christmas elves were a thing, which is like a talent in itself, you know? Jesus. But I believed it, so it's not really honestly, it's not surprising. The one screaming my name so loud you could hear it on the judges' tapes when I took the stage for the very first time, performing my first duet, and 1 second overall and just sang. The girl before me actually sucked. So, the one who spun me around the living room in circles, dancing to the same old jukebox tune over and over and over, just to make me shut up. Which I'm sure my parents were thrilled about that. She's a gem, that one. The one who slightly sabotaged all of my past relationships, just so I could eventually find my prince, who's sitting right behind her right now. He's the first legit good guy I've dated. Ask anyone in my life. If they weren't on drugs, they were on drugs, you know what I mean? No filter, I warn you, no filter, I don't care. The hands down strongest person I know who gave me a perfect example of when to walk away and never to quit. I most of the time quit. The woman who taught me I was beautiful in every way and to never let anyone ever tell me otherwise. She does, and she's really, really good at that, honestly, in all seriousness. She tells me I'm beautiful all the time, which I need because, well, woman empowerment, so. So I'd like to raise a glass to the beautiful girl in the beautiful dress over there, who I never thought I'd be giving such a loving toast about, but here we are. I can't, like, the day has come. I have, like, stopped being an asshole. And to Aaron, if there was any single person that I could pick for my hero, because you are my hero, Kristen, it would be you. I'm so lucky to call you guys my family, and thank you for making such good tacos. I love you both. Love always, your baby sister. Thank you.
Cheers. Wow.
Let you know. I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping. There's something about you, girl. Time. TikTok, baby. Life is a race, just make sure you make a pit stop. Don't trip on my people, just hop in the real. I swoop rolling like an eagle, swoop down on the rail. I know you popular, but you gon' be famous for damn thing. I like the way you do that right there, right there. Switching hips when you walk and let down your hair, down your hair. I like the way you do that right there, right there. Nigga, this who you talking, that make the stir, that make stir. I like the way you do that right there, right there. Switching hips when you walk and let down your hair, down your hair. I like the way you do that right there, right there. Nigga, this who you talking, that make the stir.
To the floor, everybody drunk out on the dance floor. Every girl ass jiggle like she want more. Like she a groupie and ain't getting no tour. Maybe cause she heard that I'm hardcore, or maybe cause she heard that I'm out the store. While I'm on the night, I'm just thinking at the store. If not, I gotta move on to the next floor.